Hey y'all, so I ventured into booktube for the first time lately and now I'm hooked. Shout out to all these booktubers because I'm obsessed with you for life now. During my time on booktube, I've seen hella videos talking about book icks and I was like, wait, I used to read. I used to love books. I want to see what's good. I have my own opinions. So I've watched a lot of those videos, made some of my own icks and borrowed others, teehee. And guess what? I'm tier ranking this shit. Ooh, I've always wanted to do that.
Yes, God! Yes, God!
Let's get into the tiers, girlies. The quote-unquote best tier for the video is, it's not that bad. Like, it's an ick, and I'd rather it not be there, but hey, it's not the worst. Next one is, it's getting a little spooky. My feathers are starting to get a little ruffled. I'm a little nervous. Then after that, we have wee woo, imagine that clip of Patrick with the walkie-talkie. But there's worse. It's still pretty neutral. It could be worse. After that, we have pack it up. Pack that shit up right now. I'm over it. You are my 12th reason. Not yet my 13th. Because after that, we have trash core. So garbage that it is the embodiment. No, the representation of trash. It's just bad, and I don't ever want it in a book ever again. They must be stopped. These authors must be stopped. Before we jump into the video, I just want to say happy belated Halloween. Do people say that? I don't know. Anyway, what was your costume? I was Karomi Icon. This video was supposed to be out like 2 weeks ago because I'm finally not sick anymore, but software problems, life problems, school problems, you know the drill. Let's get into this shit. The first ick we are going over is a guy calling a girl a bitch. This is something that pisses me off in books as much as it does in real life. It should never go that far. I hate it the most in books when authors do this to create or further fuel a conflict during an argument between the two main love interests. But are they really love interests then? What are we doing? I wasted my time because these motherfuckers right here should not be together if he is calling her that. Even if he didn't truly mean it or he changed since the girl basically fixed him, you know how it goes. But he accidentally slipped back into his old ways in that moment. Gross. You're gross. Now if it's a sibling fight, then yeah, siblings say shit they don't mean all the time. I can't really speak from experience because my older half-brothers didn't grow up in the same house as me, but I had 2 younger sisters and we definitely go at it to this day. And I have called them bitches before. Was it right? No, but I did. And you know how it is, 2 hours later and it's all good. Boys do the same thing with sisters, right? So that I can let that slide. Honestly though, I do hate it when authors use this as a reason for us to hate the ex, of the main character. Like when they do a little flashback and the ex dude name calls her, we automatically hate that motherfucker. But you can make me not like the ex without the name calling. Now, if he was emotionally and verbally abusive and then the author wanted to showcase that, then I'll let that slide, obviously, because that's reasonable and makes sense. But otherwise, come on now. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but I feel like it's a cheap reason to hate the ex. Sometimes the main character really is a bitch and she deserved to be called out for it. I'm sorry. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm nosy, and I want a scenario more in-depth than one argument with the ex being an asshole to give us a reason not to like him. So where should we put this? I'm putting this one in pack it up. Pack that shit up right now. For this next one, let's talk about time skips. I don't need to know the day-to-day play-by-play, but I hate when there's a huge time jump. And now they hate each other, avoid each other, don't talk, or are broken up, and we didn't see the chat or what led up to that. Excuse me? Did I get robbed of 40 pages? Is this a defective book, Miss Girl? Then we have to read the main character's thoughts and try to piece it together ourselves hell no. This ain't a mystery, and my name is not Nancy. I am not drawing up any conclusions of my own. Show me the tea. Let me read it. I need to be all up in the mix. They do this a lot more on TV. Hashtag The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 2, which pissed me off so much I'm about to make a whole video about that because, oh my god, I have feelings. Trust. But anyway, this shit happens in books too, especially sequels. Then we usually find out exactly what took place when one of them decides to break the silence towards the end of the book, and then they're like, okay, you know what, I forgive you. We're in love again. BFFR. BFFR. For this one, let's put her in, it's getting a little spooky. It ain't my favorite, but I can tolerate it enough. Now let's get into long-ass chapters. In my humble opinion, that's always correct. It should not take me an hour to get through one chapter. There should never be over 45 pages. Even that's pushing it slightly. Keep it short and sweet. You authors can leave out some of your descriptions. I know you like to talk, but come on, I like dialogue more anyway. Let your characters speak. Let me imagine what his room looks like, the way I want it to. I play by my own rules. I don't need you to describe a theater in depth. I know what a theater looks like. It's time for bed, but I can't put this book down. I gotta finish this long-ass 67-page chapter so I can remember what I read by the next day. Even talking about this one makes me mad. Like, we all know where this one's going, and I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. Welcome the first inductee into Trash Core. You shouldn't fall for me. I'm a horrible person. Okay then.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then.
You don't have to tell me twice, boo. One warning is all I need. I am a black woman with black woman business to attend to. Deuces. Like, these bitches need to stand up. If he's warning you, then bounce. Seriously, it pisses me off every time because the girl gets hurt and I was like, well, I thought he was different. Girl, no, you did not. I'm on his side at this point. Now, I'm actually not because he either said or did some fucked up shit, but like, you knew what you signed up for. You won't fix him, ma'am. Stop trying to. You are emotionally abusing yourself. Think about that. Once again, we are putting this hoe in the trash. I'm annoyed. Don't y'all see the flies? We all saw her downfall coming. Stinky inky. Now, how do y'all feel about more than 2 POVs? I feel like if we get more than 2 perspectives in a book, I'm not going to connect and grasp the main characters enough. This ain't a poetry book, it's a romance, babe. Like, stop this. And usually when this happens, the book ends up being like 600 pages. I ain't reading all that. I am a college student. Please spare me. Give the main love interest or fantasy protagonist the spotlight, and that's it. I don't need to know what his mother thinks about the female love interest and why she doesn't think Sarah is not good enough for her precious boy. Boy moms make me sick half the time anyway. Tell Karen to have a seat. Relax, Miss Kathy. He can have more than one woman in his life. I don't need to know what the friends think either or anything about their lame lives. Unless it's a threesome about to go down, get to steppin'. They don't deserve their own chapter, even if it is just one. If this is a mystery and it will build suspense, then okay. But I'm not super into those, so I will be complaining. So obviously there's worse, but it does get irritating when there's build-up, but nope. Sally has to share her POV first. This one's going in, it's getting spooky. Just, period. It's getting real spooky out here. When the girl, typically a nerdy, shy main love interest goes, did I just say that out loud? Girl, this is the most unrealistic fucking thing. The only reason you can get away with this is if you are like jump scared or so shocked about an Instagram story you saw in class when you weren't supposed to be on your phone, so you gasp super loud. Not that that has ever happened to me though. But saying a whole proclamation of love or describing someone's muscles in great detail out loud to their face is unbelievable. Everybody say what's up to Patrick and add some sirens, cause wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Jail. She might be a hot take, but this next one, how do y'all feel about third act conflict? Now, me personally, I love a third act conflict. It keeps the story interesting up to the very end. I like when some shit unexpectedly happens or the relationship isn't going well after a while, or they do actually break up and get back together. It just depends on how it's written. That's what it is. It can't be dumb. It can't come out of nowhere. It has to have build up. If there's no build up whatsoever, then keep it. I don't want it. So I truly don't mind this one. She's the first one in. She's not that bad. As you should, Miss Girl. Keep slaying away. Fuck the haters. Be honest. What is your reaction when a guy says, "You're mine"? If there's any guy watching this, guys saying "I'm yours" is so much better. It sounds less possessive and more vulnerable and cute, and we need this shit more in real life. It's the same thing for girls as well, don't try me. But I like when guys just give their all to a girl in books. It's just so good because it never happens for real. Let me know how you feel and that you're loyal and as dedicated to me as I am to you. Like, yes, I only like "you are mine" when it goes like "I am yours and you are mine," because that shit hits different. This one's a little icky to me, but it's pretty neutral, so wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. One thing I hate is miscommunication tropes. Ooh, I should make a separate video about just tropes. Interesting. Oh my motherfucking god, though, nothing annoys me more. I have rarely ever seen authors do this well without me thinking in 2.5 seconds how this could have all been avoided in a million ways. I just strained my eyes to read 100 pages for some dumbass misunderstanding just because these two bozos were too scared to talk to each other and because they believe every rumor they hear. Let's not. This is just such a cheap writing trick for conflict. Like, be for real. You couldn't have added any other element for this couple or besties or friend group to argue about, or added any other situation entirely. I'm sleep. So corny, and they usually make up in such an easy way that's undeserved. Based on my tone, we all know where this is going. Absolute trash core. I actually made this tier specifically for this trope, but others also get thrown away because they're just as bad. One thing that makes my eyes roll all the way back is when the main character is a writer. I'm sorry, I have seen this way too often that I don't even choose to read books like this anymore. I know authors are clearly authors, so they have the experience and passion to talk about it, but nobody else really gives a fuck. Like, I would love to be a screenwriter, but do I want to know that there are 30,000 books to read where the main character is an aspiring screenwriter or a professional screenwriter? No, give me something unique. Now, there are always exceptions, so sometimes I don't mind, but oftentimes it feels like the author's self-insert, and I'm bored. This one just happens way too often for my liking. Authors want to be YN so bad, which I get, I would love for that too, but it's painfully obvious sometimes in a book when the main character is a writer. Acting can kind of get away with this more, and for that, I pitch you in, pack it up, throw away the key, and keep that shit in a trunk. Social media and pop culture references. Some people are up in arms about shit like this, but it really doesn't bother me that much. Does it get a little awkward and take me out of the vibe, especially when it isn't set in a high school? Absolutely. But I don't really care. Social media is a little more weird than a pop culture reference. Like, yes, we love Britney. Let's talk about her old shit some more. You drive me crazy. Mention a throwback Katy Perry song I can listen to for the first time in 10 years. Hell yes. Okay, so I kind of feel like we should separate these because they are a bit different. Like, social media bugs me slightly more than a pop culture reference. So, pop culture reference is our second, it's not that bad, and social media is getting spooky. Animal noises and animal descriptions are the weirdest things for me in books. You know, when he growls or she whimpers, when he barked or he bared his teeth or roared or purred. I can't. Unless you are a beast boy or a fairy or a demon, why are you doing all that? You are a human, babe. Remember that. Get it together, ho, and stand tough, puppy. Such an underrated Nickelodeon cartoon. But anyway, my king had to represent a trash book ick, so let's go ahead and pack it all the way up. Embarrassing. When the girl picks the bad boy over the good guy because the good guy is too nice, how down bad for a fantasy can you be? Girl, be real with me here. Let's chat. Unless the author is trying to pull something for a trilogy, then what are we doing? This is never a happy ending to me. How are you going to turn down a sweet and caring guy that puts you first, checks in on you, cares and notices when your emotions shift, and immediately asks what happens, for a bum that breaks the law, has no empathy and consideration for anyone else's feelings, and that treats you like shit until he decided that you were the cockroach that never dies, so he'll keep you around? I can't support that. The ickiest ick that makes me sick because the girl ends up with a dick, and that represents trash core. Trash, trash, trash. Alright, we on the second to last one, y'all. When he cheats and the girl forgives him. This goes for any cheater. Stop. Literally break up with these hoes. It's so much easier than keeping up with 1 million lies. Don't be a loser and man up. I also hate when the female lead cheats and people justify it because she had a bad boyfriend or husband, especially when there's nothing stopping her from dumping him. Like, if abuse is not in the equation, then divide yourself from it. Be free. Stream Be Free by KB of Only One Of. It's amazing, and the music video is the cutest gay crush to one night stand I've ever seen. Adorable. And I'm putting this one in dumpster chic. It's trash core because I can never. You will never catch me. My last one is an overprotective man or woman. It's cute until it's not. Like, there's a certain boundary you should not cross, like making threats or being jealous of absolutely nothing, even like any interaction with the opposite sex, but they always do. And then they start stalking. Way too far. And on the other hand, girls always get a pass on stalking. Like, they always get a pass in these books, but they really shouldn't. Why do we let that happen? Shit talking to other girls too, like, that's just as bad. This is such a red flag to me because you got out that gray area, and now I'm calling the cops. So we all know where this is going. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Okay, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what else y'all want. I had a fun time with this, except the app I use is being annoying as fuck, so this is taking fucking forever, but live, laugh, love Barbie, live, laugh, love reading, because I need to start doing that more. And what's your biggest book ick? Like, what is the biggest ick that just turns you off from a series completely? Let me know, and see you next time.